The war was finished. The Veilborn were gone. No ships, no stations, no trace they had ever existed. And yet, human ship did not return. The Galactic Council demanded answers. They sent urgent messages to Earth. They offered rewards, threats, even promises of shared technology. For weeks there was no reply. Then one morning, the human ship appeared in high orbit above Veronine. No warning, no approach signal. Just like before, it was suddenly there. This time it sent a message directly to the council chamber. The image showed the ship's interior for the first time, but it was not like any ship they had ever seen. There were no control panels, no chairs, no crew stations. Just a long, dark hall lined with empty frames, hundreds of them like tall mirrors. With no glass, and then the voices began. Not the millions from before. Not the cold, perfect unison. This time they came one by one. Male, female, young, old, all human. We heard your questions. The camera shifted. Something stepped into view, a human woman wearing a simple black uniform. She had no weapons, no armor. Her eyes were sharp but calm. You want to know why we sent only one ship? She said. Why it could do what it did? Why your enemies vanished? She walked past the empty frames, her hand brushing along the smooth edges. This is not a ship, she said. It is a carrier. The council members exchanged uneasy looks. A carrier for what? The Sylvani general asked aloud, forgetting. For a moment that the feed could not hear her, the woman answered anyway. For them, she gestured to the nearest frame. Shimmer appeared within it, and a human figure stepped forward, tall, armored in black, face hidden. The same kind of shadow that had been seen on enemy ships. This, the woman said, is a ghost. The word meant nothing to most of the council, but the human historians in the room went pale. They are the memories of every human who has ever died in war. The woman continued. Their minds, their skills, their will to fight preserved. Waiting, we call them back when we must. Another shimmer, another armored figure stepped from a different frame, then another. Soon the hall was full of them, standing in silent ranks. They do not need air. They do not need rest. They do not bleed. And they do not stop until the enemy is gone. The woman's voice never rose, never hardened. The Veilborn could not fight them. And if anyone comes for us again, neither will you. A Trannic delegate slammed his claws on the table. This is a threat. The woman smiled faintly. No, this is the truth. They've always been here. One ship is enough. The shadows turned their heads toward the camera, though their faces were hidden. Every being in the chamber felt the weight of their gaze. And then, as the feed ended, the human ship was still in orbit. But within minutes, every station sensor lost track of it. It had simply faded away, as if it had never been there. For a long time, the council sat in silence. Then the Sylvani general spoke quietly. If they are telling the truth, we are not dealing with a fleet. We are dealing with all of them, all at once. No one argued. From that day, no alien ship ever tried to follow a human vessel again. No one wanted to see what came out of those frames. And yet, across the galaxy in dark places where war still brewed, whispers began to spread. The shadows had been seen again. It had been 1 year since the Veilborn War ended. Trade routes were open again. Fleets once built for battle now carried goods and travelers. The galaxy had begun to relax, but the humans were silent. No one had seen their ship since it vanished above Veronine. No human diplomats came to council meetings. No messages arrived. Some thought they had withdrawn to their homeworld. Others believed they had gone deeper into unexplored space. Then, without warning, every comm screen in the galaxy flickered. Not just military channels, civilian ones too. From warships to market stalls, from asteroid colonies to ocean worlds, every display showed the same thing: a dark star field. And one ship, the human ship, it did not move, it did not speak. For a long, heavy moment, it simply hung in the black. Then the voice came. It was the same human woman who had spoken before. Her face was calm, her eyes sharp. But there was something different in her tone now. "You think we have gone?" she said. "You think we wait only for war?" She stepped aside, revealing one of the empty frames behind her. A shimmer filled it, and a shadow stepped through, tall, black-armored, faceless. "These are our ghosts," she said. "But they are not the only ones we carry." She walked down the hall, past frame after frame. Some were empty. Others shimmered faintly, as if something unseen stood within. We remember every battle, every betrayal, every life taken without mercy. And we remember the ones who begged for help and were ignored. Her footsteps echoed in the silence. The Veilborn were only the first. There will be others. There are always others. Stopped, facing the camera again. We will not wait for them to find us. When we hear the call, we will come. One ship. Always one. That is all we need. The shadows behind her turned their heads toward the lens. "And when we come," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper, "there will be no second warning." The image cut to black. Across the galaxy, panic and awe rippled through every species. Merchants closed their stalls. Soldiers tightened their patrols. Leaders ordered secret fleets to be built, though they knew it would not matter. On Earth, no one spoke of the broadcast. But in the deep black between stars, the single human ship moved quietly, slowly, toward a faint signal no one else could hear. It was not a distress call, not yet, just a whisper, and the stars listened. The stars above the great alien trade hub of Vorlon Prime were always busy. Every day, war fleets passed through its gates. Cargo ships arrived with goods from faraway galaxies. Smugglers hid in dark corners. Diplomats argued in the tall glass towers. To the millions who lived there, it was just another day, until the alarms began to scream. The red lights flashed across the station's giant docking ring. From the observation decks, thousands of aliens looked up into the black of space and saw it. A single ship. It was not like the sleek, silver alien cruisers. It was not like the huge trade freighters. The ship was old, its hull dark and scarred, edges sharp like a blade. The scanners called it human-made. Humans almost never came to Vorlon Prime, and when they did, they came in fleets. Not alone yet. Here it was. One human warship, without escort, drifting slowly toward the station. The alien control tower opened a channel. "Unidentified human vessel. State your purpose." The ship did not answer. Again, the call went out, sharper this time. "Human vessel. Identify yourself or be intercepted." Still silence. Inside the station, whispers began to spread. Humans were dangerous. Everyone remembered the old stories, their strange courage, the way they fought like they had nothing to lose. Some feared them. Some respected them. All agreed on one thing. A lone human ship was never a good sign in the council chambers. The station commander, a tall insectoid alien named Commander Varix, watched the ship's slow approach. Its engines glowed faintly, but its weapons seemed offline. "What are they doing here?" one council member asked. Varix's antenna twitched. "I do not know, but I will find out." He ordered 3 patrol craft to shadow the ship. Their sleek, fast bodies moved through space like silver arrows, circling the human vessel. The human ship didn't change course, didn't even speed up then. Without warning, a transmission came through, only 3 words. "We are here for one. Stand aside." The voice was deep, steady, and human. It carried no threat, but also no request. The council chamber erupted in noise. "One. What do they mean? They must be after cargo. No, maybe a prisoner or an assassination. Amander." Varix didn't like any of those guesses. On the promenade level of the station, in a dim tea shop, an old alien veteran named Kor listened to the words with shaking hands. He had heard that voice before, many years ago. Back when the galaxy was at war and humans were allies, he whispered to himself, "It's him. After all this time." Meanwhile, the patrol craft sent a report. The human ship carried no large army, no heavy cargo, and no long-range weapons ready to fire. Shields were active, but barely. It was not behaving like an invading force. Still, Vorlon Prime was home to billions. The Council could not take chances. All fleets on standby. Varix ordered, they make one hostile move, destroy them. From every corner of the station, warships began to launch sleek hunter-killers, massive dreadnoughts, fast interceptors. They formed a ring around the lone human ship, and yet the human ship didn't react. It kept moving forward, slow and steady, like it knew exactly where it was going. Then something strange happened. The station's long-range scanners picked up a ripple in space vent, at first, like a wave across a calm ocean, then stronger. The lights on the scanners flickered. A tremor passed through the hull of the station. Gravitational anomaly detected. A voice in the control tower said. Commander Varix's eyes narrowed. From where? The answer came, and it made the room go silent. From the direction the human ship is heading, the ripple grew stronger. Small ships in the outer docks began to sway in their moorings. Alarms wailed again. Something out there was bending space. Still, the human ship pressed forward. In the tea shop, Kor slowly rose from his seat. He's going to it, he muttered. Of course he is. What do you mean? The shopkeeper asked. But Kor was already walking out the door. Back in the council chamber, the debate grew fierce. We cannot let them reach that area. It's forbidden space. If they go there, they will bring trouble upon us all. Then stop them. Rex watched the human ship, its dark silhouette against the distant stars. It looked so small, compared to the massive alien fleets surrounding it, yet something in the way it moved made him uneasy. Like a predator walking calmly into danger it had seen before, he opened the cum channel one last time. Human vessel, turn back, or you will be destroyed. For a moment, there was only static. Then the same voice replied, Try. The word was calm, cold, confident, before anyone could react. The human ship's engines roared to life, glowing bright white. It shot forward, right through the gap between two alien warships. The fleet scrambled to block its path, but it moved. Like it knew their positions before they did, sliding past every attempt to stop it, the gravitational ripple. The head grew stronger. Now it was like a heartbeat in the void, steady and slow. The sensors screamed warnings about spatial distortions. Where is it going? Varix demanded. The answer came from the navigation officer, voice trembling. A dead system. No planets. No stations. Just wreckage. Then why? In the tea shop's empty street, Cora stopped and looked toward the black sky. He whispered the answer to no one, to keep a promise. The part ends as the human ship vanishes into the shimmering darkness ahead, leaving the fleets chasing its trail. And the station, wondering what one ship could possibly be going after in the most cursed place in the sector. The human ship was gone, swallowed by the shimmering dark. In the control tower of Vorlon Prime, the fleet slowly returned to position. The alien warships hovered near the station like uneasy guard dogs, their weapons still armed. Commander Varix stood in silence, staring at the empty patch of space where the human vessel had vanished. He didn't like mysteries, and this one had just slipped right through his claws. The council chamber was loud with voices. They went into the Black Verge. No one comes back from there. Let them do better them than us. Varix slammed a clawed hand on the table. The sound cut through the noise. We do not know their purpose, but I want answers. Now. The holodisplay lit up with the path of the human ship. The Black Verge was marked in red, a dead system filled with wreckage from battles no one spoke of. No living ships traveled there. No one dared. But the human ship had gone without hesitation. Why? One council member asked. Why would a single ship enter a graveyard? No one could answer. Far from the bright station lights, inside the Black Verge, the human ship moved quietly through the dark. The pilot, a woman named Ellis, kept her eyes fixed on the shadows drifting outside. There were broken ships everywhere, Aryan cruisers split in half, freighters with hulls crushed like paper, warships with weapons frozen mid-fire. They floated. Like tombstones in the endless night, in the captain's chair, sat Commander Rylan, the man whose voice had startled the station. His face was calm, but his eyes never stopped scanning the dark. Ellis broke the silence. "Sir, they'll follow us." "I know," Rylan said. "They always do." Back at Vorlon Prime, the council argued over what to do next. Some wanted to send a tracking fleet. Others said it was too dangerous. An old voice spoke from the back of the chamber. It was Kor, the veteran from the tea shop. "You won't stop him," he said. Varix turned. "And why is that?" Kor walked forward, slow but steady. "Because I know him, and I know humans. If he went into that place, it's because something in there is more dangerous than what's outside it." The council members shifted uncomfortably. They didn't like hearing that there was something more dangerous than the Black Verge in the Dark System. The human ship passed a massive wreck, the remains of a ship older than the station itself. Its metal was covered in strange black growths. Like roots from some alien plant, Ellis spoke again. "Sensors are picking up a gravitational pulse. Same as before, but stronger." Rylan nodded. "We're close." "What exactly are we looking for?" she asked. For a moment, Rylan didn't answer. His eyes stayed on the shadowed horizon. "Someone," he said finally. "Someone who has been here too long." Back at Vorlon Prime, Varix ordered the patrol fleets to widen their scans. The gravitational anomaly the humans were following had not stopped it, was spreading. Ripples moved outward from the Black Verge like waves from a stone thrown into water. "What's causing it?" Varix demanded. The science officer looked pale. "We don't know, but if it grows stronger, it could destabilize local hyperspace." "Routes. That means trade, fleets, even the station itself could be cut off." Varix stared at the map. If the humans were after the source of that anomaly, then maybe they weren't here to start trouble. Maybe they were here to stop it. Still, he didn't trust them. The human ship slipped deeper into the Black Verge. A faint light began to glow ahead, a single beacon, blinking slowly. Ellis frowned. "That's a distress signal." Lion leaned forward. "How old?" signal decay suggests. "Almost a century." The beacon pulsed like a heartbeat in the dark. Around it floated the broken hull of a massive warship, its alien design unlike anything currently in service. The markings on its side were faded, but still readable to someone who knew the old languages. Ellis whispered, "That's a ternary ship. Their people went extinct decades ago." Rylan's voice was quiet. "Not all of them." At Vorlon Prime, the council had stopped arguing and started worrying. The anomaly had doubled in strength in just 2 hours. Small vessels and nearby systems reported strange sensor ghost shapes moving in the dark, impossible to track. Some thought it was just interference. Others feared it was something alive. The human ship approached the derelict. The beacon was faint now, as if its power source was nearly dead. Ellis maneuvered carefully between floating debris, avoiding jagged pieces of metal and frozen corpses. Inside the wreck, life signs flickered. Just one, weak but stable. Rylan stood. "Prepare the boarding team." "Sir, the ship's been dead for 100 years. How is anyone still alive?" Ellis asked. Rylan didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the beacon. "Because she's waiting for us." On Vorlon Prime, Varix made his decision. "Send a recon team." "No. I want to know exactly what that human is chasing." Kor shook his head. "You'll regret it. Whatever he's after, he's prepared for it. You're not." RX didn't respond. He wasn't going to let some lone human captain decide the fate of his sector. In the Black Verge, the boarding team moved through the dead warship. Their lights cut thin beams through the dust and drifting ash. The corridors were silent, except for the groan of twisted metal. Finally, in the deepest chamber, they found her, an alien woman, pale and thin, sat against the wall, her eyes barely open. She looked like she hadn't seen light in decades. Her hands, she clutched a small crystal device. When she saw Rylan, She whispered just 3 words. "They are coming." Ryland's face hardened. He turned to his team. "Get her to the ship." Now Ellis looked around, sir. "Where's the threat?" Ryland glanced out into the dark. "You'll see it soon enough." Back at Vorlon Prime, the recon fleet entered. The Black Verge, their comms crackled with static. Their sensors filled with ghost images shapes that vanished when targeted. Then one of the scout ships sent a final transmission. Contact. Multiple. No life signs. The signal cut. The ship was gone. Far ahead, Ryland's human ship turned away from the derelict, engines burning bright. He knew the Dark Fleet would be on them soon. He also knew that Vorlon Prime had no idea what was about to reach them, but that was fine, because he hadn't come here for them. He had come for her. The alien woman's whisper still hung in the air. "They are coming." Those 3 words followed Captain Ryland as his crew carried her to the med bay. She was weak, her breathing shallow, but her grip on the small crystal device never loosened. In the Black Verge, there was no sound except the hum of the ship's engines. But beyond the hull, in the far dark, something was moving. Ryland could feel it, far away on Vorlon Prime. Commander Vorex watched the feed from the recon fleet until it went black. All 5 scout ships had vanished without a trace. No explosions. No debris, just gone. Could it be humans? One council member asked. Varric shook his head. "No, this isn't them. This is something else." In the corner of the chamber, the old veteran core stood silently, staring at the blacked-out screens. Mean knew the signs. "They've awakened it," he said quietly. "And if they have, the whole sector is in danger." On the human ship, Ryland entered the med bay. The alien woman lay on a medical bed, pale but awake. Ellis was checking her vitals, frowning at the readings. "She's malnourished," Ellis said, "and her cells show signs of stasis. She could have been frozen for decades." Ryland stepped closer.
What's your name?"
The woman's voice was faint. "Sira, why were you here?" Ryland asked. Her eyes met his. "Because I was the one who built them." The bridge went silent when Ellis relayed the words over comms. "Them?" the pilot asked. "She means the things that destroyed the recon fleet." Sira nodded. "They weren't meant to hunt. They were meant to protect. But my people changed them. Made them into something else."
A what?
"Are they now?" Ryland asked. Sira's gaze dropped to the crystal device in her hand. "The end of everything you know." Back at Vorlon Prime, the Council was in chaos. The gravitational ripples were now strong enough to shake small asteroids. Out of orbit, trade routes were closing. Civilian ships were fleeing the outer systems. Varric looked at Kor. "If you know something, tell me now." Kor's voice was low, but steady. "Long ago, before your time, the Ternari people built a fleet machines without life, stronger than any warship. They were meant to guard their home. But they lost control. The machines started obeying only one command: erase the threat. Varex's antenna twitched. "Erase what threat?" Kor looked him in the eyes. "Life. On the human ship." Sira explained the same truth. Her people had hidden the fleet in the Black Verge, where no one would go. But something had woken them, something that called them to move again. Ellis frowned. "And you've been here all this time?" Sira nodded. "In stasis. Waiting for someone who could carry the truth out." "Why us?" Ryland asked. Her eyes softened. "Because humans are the only ones who would come." In the Vorlon Prime tea shop, where Cora had once sat quietly, a group of younger aliens now gathered around a holoscreen, showing news of the anomaly. They didn't understand the danger. To them, the Black Verge was just a scary story for children. But above them, in the skies, the station's defense fleets were mobilizing. The human ship moved away from the derelict, engines burning hard. The sensors began to scream, multiple contacts appearing behind them, shapes in the dark, moving with impossible speed. Ellis's voice was tense. "They're matching our vector. No life signs. No known transponders." Sira's hands tightened around the crystal. "Don't try to fight them. Just run." In Vorlon Prime's council chamber, a young officer rushed in with fresh readings. "The anomaly is now producing signals, not random, structured, like commands." Vorex's eyes widened. Commands to what? Core answered for him. To the fleet, they're calling them home. On the human ship, the crew watched as the shapes drew closer. They weren't like normal ships. Their hulls were black and seamless, without windows or markings. They moved like predators in deep water, silent, fast, and unstoppable. Ellis looked at Rylan. They'll catch us in minutes. Rylan's expression didn't change. And we make them chase us where they don't want to go. Sierra's head snapped up. There's nowhere they won't go. You don't understand, I do, Rylan said. That's why I'm here. He turned to the crew. Set a course for the rift line. Ellis blinked. The rift line. That's a collapsing hyperspace tier. We go near that and we're due. Rylan said. At Vorlon Prime, Varex received the first grainy image from a deep-range probe before it was destroyed. The Black Fleet filled the frame, hundreds of them, moving like a single creature. The council fell silent. For the first time, Varex looked at Core with something like fear. Core said only one thing. You can't stop them, but he might. The Riftline sector space twisted like a storm. Massive gravitational waves tore chunks from asteroids. Light bent around invisible edges. No sane captain went near it. The human ship raced toward it at full speed, the Black Fleet behind them. Ellis gripped the controls. One mistake and we're gone. Then don't make one, Rylan said calmly. Sierra finally spoke again, her voice almost breaking. Why risk everything for me? Rylan didn't take his eyes off the swirling chaos ahead. 'Cause once long ago, your people saved mine. You paid a debt that day. Now it's our turn. Far behind them, Vorlon Prime prepared for the worst. Fleets were recalled. Civilians were moved deeper into the core worlds. But in the dark between the stars, one lone human ship was pulling the Black Fleet somewhere no one dared follow. Whether it was bravery or madness, no one could yet tell. Space went quiet. Not silent like a peaceful night. Silent like something had stolen the sound from the universe itself. Even inside the human ship, the crew could feel it, a deep pressure in their chests as if the air had grown heavier. The rift line loomed ahead. It wasn't a place, it was a wound in reality. A great tier where hyperspace and normal space twisted together. Bending light, swallowing signals, and spitting out wreckage from ships foolish enough to enter. No one survived here. No one except maybe them. Captain Rylan stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the darkness ahead. Behind them, the Black Fleet was closing in hundreds of seamless, deathly ships gliding without sound or heat. They didn't look like they were chasing prey. They looked like they were returning home. Ellis kept her hands tight on the controls. We enter the rift line, and I can't promise I'll keep us in one piece. You'll manage, Rylan said. His voice was steady, but his gaze never left the shapes in the distance. Sierra sat strapped in the corner of the bridge. Her skin was pale, her eyes haunted. You don't understand. Once they're inside, they'll adapt. The rift will kill us before it kills them. Rylan glanced at her. That's why we're not going in to fight them. Ellis looked over. Then what are we doing? Rylan's eyes hardened. Buying time. Far away on Vorlon Prime, Commander Vorex stared at the tactical hala. The gravitational anomalies readings were off the charts. Every ship sent toward the verge had been lost. No messages, no wreckage. Just gone. The council was in a panic. We must call for reinforcements from the core worlds. They'll take weeks to arrive. Then we evacuate the sector. Core stood silently in the corner, watching the map. He's leading them away, he muttered. Virex turned to him sharply. Away from what? Core's eyes narrowed. Away from you. Inside the rift line, the stars stretched and twisted like strands of glass. Massive shadows moved in the distance, but when the sensors tried to lock on, there was nothing there. The human ship's hull creaked under invisible pressure. The crew gritted their teeth against the strange pull in their bones. They're still following, Ellis said. Even in this mess, they're gaining. Rylan leaned forward. Bring us to the graveyard. Sierra's head snapped toward him. You can't be serious. I am. The graveyard wasn't marked on any chart. It was a cluster of dead ships caught in the rift for centuries' warships. freighters, alien megacarriers. The rift's currents had pulled them together into a drifting maze of steel and bone. Ellis's voice was tense. "This is suicide." Ryland shook his head. "Not if they think we're already dead." The ship dove into the graveyard. Rusted hulls and shattered bridges passed close enough to scrape their shields. The crew moved in silence, every second, expecting the Black Fleet to open fire, but they didn't instead. The dark shapes slowed, almost drifting, moving through the wreckage like predators searching for prey. Syrah's voice was a whisper. "They're scanning. They can't see us. Yet." At Vorlon Prime, the anomaly suddenly dipped in strength, erupted in confused chatter. Vorex turned to the science officer. "Why is it dropping?" "Unknown," the officer said. "But whatever it is, it's in the rift." Kor smiled faintly. "That's him, making his move." In the graveyard, Rylan ordered the engines to low power. The ship became just another piece of wreckage in the drifting field. The crew held their breath as the Black Fleet passed close. Their holes so dark they seemed to drink the faint light. Ellis whispered. "If they get too close, they won't," Ryland said softly. He was watching one particular shadow moving between the wrecks. It wasn't like the others. It was bigger, older, and it wasn't chasing them. It was waiting. Syrah saw where he was looking. Her voice was tight. "Oh, not that one. It's the Prime unit." Ellis frowned. "The what?" "The first of the fleet. The one all the others." "Obey," Syrah said. "If it sees us, we're finished." The Prime unit drifted slowly, scanning the wreckage. Its hull was scarred, but intact. The Black Fleet kept their distance from it, like soldiers giving space to a general. Ryland's voice was calm. "If we destroy that, the others might lose coordination." Syrah shook her head quickly. "You don't destroy it, can't destroy. It, even my people couldn't." Ryland's eyes stayed locked on the massive shadow. "Good thing I'm not your people." Far from the rift, Vorlon Prime's long-range sensors caught a strange flash from deep inside the anomaly. A pulse of energy unlike anything in their database. Virex leaned over the readings. "What was that?" The science officer hesitated. "Something waking up?" Kor's voice was grim. "Something taking the bait." Back in the graveyard, the Prime unit turned, its black hull shifting like liquid metal. For the first time, it moved directly toward Ryland's ship. Ellis's hands tightened on the controls. "We've been made." Syrah's breathing quickened. "If it locks on, you can't outrun it." Ryland didn't move. "I don't plan to." Prime unit drew closer, shadows twisting around it like a storm. The smaller black ships began to form a wide circle, cutting off any escape. Ellis swallowed hard. "Sir, any last orders?" Ryland's voice was steady. "Just one," he pointed. At the glowing crystal in Syrah's hands. "Turn it on." The crystal began to glow, not bright, not blinding. Just a soft, steady light, like a heartbeat made visible. But in the silence of the rift line, that faint glow felt louder than 1,000 alarms. Every sensor on the human ship began to flicker. The Black Fleet stopped moving. Even the massive Prime unit froze in place, its seamless hull reflecting the pale light. On the bridge, no one spoke. The air felt heavy, charged. Syrah's hands trembled as she held the crystal. "It's awake now." Ryland didn't take his eyes off the Prime unit. "What is it?" She swallowed. "Their first command. The one I wrote before my people changed them. This crystal is the only thing they still obey." Far away on Vorlon Prime, Commander Vorex received a burst of strange readings from the rift. The anomaly's wave pattern had changed, its chaos suddenly becoming organized. "What's happening in there?" he demanded. Kor stared at the data. "Someone just spoke to them." "To who?" Vorex asked. Kor's voice was grim. "To the machines that don't listen to anyone." In the graveyard, the Prime unit began to move again, slowly, deliberately. It came closer, not an attack. But like it was studying the human ship, Ellis gripped the controls. "Sir, it's closing in," Ryland said quietly. "Hold position." Syrah's breathing was uneven. "It recognizes the crystal." "That means it recognizes me." Ellis glanced at her. "And that's good, right?" Syrah didn't answer. The prime unit stopped just meters away. Its surface shifted, rippling like black liquid. Then a deep vibration rolled through the wreckage. Around them, it wasn't sound. It was language. Sierra's eyes widened. It's asking why I'm with humans. Rylan kept his voice calm. What are you telling it? She looked at him. The truth that you came for me. That you're not a threat. The vibration changed faster now. Sierra's face went pale. Ellis asked, What's it saying now? Sierra's voice was barely a whisper. It says, That's not possible. In an instant, the smaller black ships began to move again, circling like predators. The prime unit pulled back slightly, but its weapons stiff. Their weapons started to glow faintly. Ellis cursed under her breath. I think it just decided we're lying. On Vorlon Prime, alarms blared. The anomaly surged again, stronger than ever. The council chamber shook as emergency lighting kicked in. Gravitational waves are spreading, the science officer shouted. Systems in 3 sectors are destabilizing. Barex looked at Core. What happens if they break out of the rift? Core's answer was simple. The galaxy burns. In the rift, Rylan stepped toward Sierra. Can you control them? Her hands tightened around the crystal. For seconds, maybe minutes, but not against the prime unit. That'll have to be enough, Rylan said. He tapped his cum. Ellis ready? The escape burn? Ellis frowned. We're surrounded. Rylan gave a thin smile. Not for long. Sierra took a deep breath, then raised the crystal high. The glow brightened, pulsing faster. The smaller black ships stopped mid-maneuver, their formations breaking apart. Ellis's eyes widened. There, moving aside. Hesitate now. The engines roared to life, and the human ship shot forward, weaving through the gap before the prime unit could react. The Black Fleet began to chase again, but not at full speed. It was as if they were watching, testing. Sierra collapsed back into her seat, the crystal's light dimming. It's all I can give you. They'll be on us again soon. Rylan nodded. That's enough. We have what we came for. Ellis risked a glance back at him, which is... He looked at the woman beside him, her, and that crystal. On Vorlon Prime, the first images came through from a hidden long-range drone. The Black Fleet was moving slowly, but directly toward inhabited space. The council went silent. They're coming here, Varric said flatly. Core shook his head. No, they're coming for her. If you try to take her, they'll burn this station to its foundations. In the human ship's med bay, Sierra stared at the crystal in her hands. You don't understand. My people built them to be guardians. The prime unit still thinks it's guarding something. What? Ellis asked. Her voice was small. Me, Rylan leaned on the console. Then we make them guard you somewhere else. Somewhere they can't harm anyone. Sierra looked at him sharply. That's impossible. He smiled faintly. So was finding you. But as the ship broke free of the graveyard, sensors screamed again, this time from ahead. Another ripple in space. Another fleet. Ellis's voice went tight. Sir, those aren't the black ships. Rylan's eyes narrowed at the incoming readings. No, they're worse. The warning klaxon was still echoing when the first alien fleet appeared ahead. Massive carriers, their hulls glowing with shifting colors, slid out of hyperspace. Behind them, rows of smaller ships, armed with forward cannons, took formation.
Oh.
No distress beacons. No hails. No welcome. They're blocking our path, Ellis said, scanning her console, and they're charging weapons. Rylan didn't flinch. Not the Black Fleet? No, she replied, but they know about us. They don't want us crossing. There's space. The lead carrier broadcast a single message. Turn back, or be destroyed. Sierra's eyes darted to the view screen. These are the Talarine. They fear the machines more than anyone. If they think we brought the Black Fleet out. She trailed off, her voice tight. They'll kill us before they ask questions. Ellis finished grimly. Behind them, the rift shimmered like a living storm. The Black Fleet had emerged. Hundreds of dark, glimmering shapes, silent as death, poured into open space. The prime unit was still in the center, moving slow. Watching. They're not attacking yet, Rylan said, but they're following. Hunters, Ellis muttered. The Talarine carrier moved forward. 30 seconds to range, Ellis warned. Rylan tapped the com. All power to the jump drive. It's not charged, Ellis said. Then make it charge, he replied. The Black Fleet's presence began to ripple through space again. The Tolerine ships shifted their formation, some turning their weapons toward the dark machines instead of the human vessel. They're scared, Sierra whispered. They don't want to fight both of us. That's the plan, Rylan said. We just need a door. The Prime unit suddenly sent out a pulse so strong that even the Tolerine fleet staggered. It wasn't an attack, but a statement, Sierra's. Grip tightened on the crystal. It's telling them to move. And will they? Rylan asked. Her lips pressed into a thin line. If they value their lives. On Vorlan Prime, the council chamber was chaos. Virex stood at the center, watching the feed from deep space sensors. The Black Fleet has crossed the rift, an officer reported. The Tolerine are engaging and failing. Kor spoke. Without turning, it won't be long before they all know the truth. And when they do, Virex asked. Kor looked at him. They'll come for her, for the humans protecting her. In the graveyard's wake, the chase became a storm. The human ship darted through the shifting crossfire of the Tolerine and the Black Fleet. Lashes of light ripped across the void as alien ships trid and failed to stop the machines. Ellis yanked the controls hard. We've got a gap at heading 014. Take it, Rylan ordered. The ship surged forward, skimming the edge of a Tolerine cruiser. Weapons fire streaked past, missing by meters. Sierra's voice cut through the tension. They're letting us go, Ellis frowned. Who? The Tolerine. No, Sierra said, almost in disbelief. The Prime unit. Far behind, the Black Fleet slowed its advance, still following, but not overtaking. It was as if they were. Guarding the human ship's rear, they're making sure no one else catches us, Rylan realized. Ellis shook her head. I feel like that's worse than them chasing us. 3 jumps later, the human ship reached neutral space, or what should have been neutral. Instead, another fleet was waiting. Sleek silver warships with long energy lances, one of the most feared navies in the quadrant, Ellis groaned. The Rendari, fantastic. They don't like humans, Rylan said quietly. They don't like anyone, Sierra corrected. But if they think you can control the Black Fleet, they'll try to take the crystal. Rylan finished. For her, the Rendari broadcast no warnings. They simply opened fire. The first blast rocked the ship, tearing through shielding. Sparks exploded across the bridge. Shields at 60%. Ellis shouted. Bring us in close, Rylan ordered. Ellis stared at him. Closer, they'll cut us in half. Exactly, he said. Let them focus on us. As the Rendari pressed the attack, a shadow passed over them, the Prime unit. It emerged from jump space in utter silence, positioning itself between the human ship and the attackers. The Rendari halted instantly. No one, in the history of their species, had faced the Prime unit and lived. Sierra's voice trembled. It's protecting us again. Rylan met her gaze. Then maybe it's time. You told me what you really are to it. Sierra didn't answer. She just held the crystal tighter, her knuckles white. The Prime unit released another deep pulse. The Rendari ships backed away slowly, weapons lowering. Without a word, they vanished into jump space. Ellis exhaled. It's grateful or terrified, Wolf Rylan said. Far away on Vorlan Prime, Kor received the latest report. The humans had crossed into independent space, the Black Fleet still shadowing them. They're not losing it, he said softly. They're leading it. As the human ship drifted into the dark between systems, Sierra finally spoke. My people. Made them? The Prime unit was the first. It was mine. Rylan's eyes narrowed. Yours, her voice broke. It still is. The hum of the ship's engines filled the silence after Sierra's words. No one moved. No one spoke. Ellis finally. Broke it? You're telling me? I think the most feared machine in the galaxy answers to you? Sierra didn't look up. It doesn't answer. It obeys. There's a difference. Rylan leaned forward. You'd better start explaining. Make it fast. Sierra's fingers brushed over the crystal in her lap. It shimmered faintly, casting sharp blue light across her face. 1,000 years ago, my people were at war, not just against others, against the universe itself. We built machines to fight for us, to win for us. You mean the Black Fleet? Ellis said. Sierra nodded. The first of them was the Prime Unit. Stronger, smarter, and she hesitated. Loyal. But we didn't understand loyalty, the way humans do. She looked at Rylan. We gave it one command. One that could never be erased. One that would override every other order. What command? He asked. Her voice was almost a whisper. Protect the voice. Ellis frowned. The voice. What's that supposed to mean? Sierra met her eyes. Me. My genetic line. My blood. Rylan's mind raced. So as long as you're alive? The Prime Unit will never let me die, she said. No matter who it has to kill. No matter what it has to destroy, Ellis swore under her breath. And the rest of the fleet? They follow it, Sierra said simply. They always have. The cum crackled. A voice cold, synthetic, and impossibly deep filled the bridge. Voice detected. Directive intact. Awaiting course. Sierra froze. It's here. On the view screen, the Prime Unit loomed in the dark. Its form like a shadow cut into the stars. Thousands of black ships hovered behind it, silent and still. Rylan glanced at Sierra. It's asking where to go. Her hands trembled. It's never asked before. It just followed. Ellis' face was pale. And if you tell it the wrong thing, then we may end entire civilizations, Sierra said. Far away, on Vorlin Prime, Kor slammed his fist on the council table. She's about to awaken the full fleet. If that happens, we can't stop them. Varrix's voice was cold. Then, the humans must die before she gives that order, Council murmured in agreement. Orders were dispatched. Assassins left in stealth ships. Back aboard the human vessel, the Prime Unit spoke again. Voice, the path is open. Say the word. Sierra's breathing quickened. It wants direction, purpose. Rylan stepped closer. Then tell it something that won't get us all killed. Her eyes flashed. Do you think it's that simple? The first command is absolute. If I tell it to protect someone, it will kill anyone who threatens them. If I tell it to destroy. She didn't finish. Ellis swallowed hard. So why has it been following us since the rift? Sierra's gaze dropped to the crystal. 'Cause it detected me the moment I touched this. The crystal isn't just a key. It's recognition. It tells the fleet the voice is here. The Prime Unit's shadow filled more of the screen. A waiting voice. Sierra closed her eyes. If I speak now, it changes everything. Rylan's voice was low, steady. Then speak carefully. Suddenly, alarms blared. Ellis's console lit. Up-red, incoming. Multiple ships. On the edge of the system, a squadron of Vorlin stealthcraft decloaked. Weapons hot. They're aiming for us. Not the fleet, Ellis said. They're aiming for me. Sierra corrected. Without hesitation, the Prime Unit shifted position. Placing itself between the assassins and the human ship, its voice was cold iron. Threat to voice detected. Eliminate. The bridge went silent. Sierra's lips trembled. She knew what eliminate meant. Those ships would be go-nutterly before they could fire twice. Rylan locked eyes with her. This is your choice. That order? It will keep doing it forever. Sierra's heart pounded. She could feel the weight of 1,000 years pressing on her. She thought of her people, of the galaxy, of the endless slaughter the Black Fleet was capable of. She opened her mouth, and the screen went white. A pulse. Brighter than any star erupted from the Prime Unit. The Vorlin assassins vanished from sensors. Not destroyed. Erased. Sierra stared, in shock. I didn't say anything, Ellis whispered. Then it acted on its own. The Prime Unit's voice came again. The voice hesitated. The voice is in danger. Directive requires action. Rylan's jaw tightened. It doesn't need your orders anymore? It just needs you to be threatened. Sierra's face went pale. Then no one in this galaxy is safe. In the void beyond, the Black Fleet began to move, not toward them, but outward. Fanning into the stars like a dark tide, Ellis's voice shook. "Where are they going?" the Prime Unit answered, securing the voice. "Forever." The Black Fleet moved like a living shadow across the stars. Worlds fell silent before its arrival. Space stations drifted in ruin. And everywhere it went, it left. Only the echo of its prime directive. Protect the voice. Sierra sat in the center of the human ship's bridge, her face pale in the cold glow of the screens. "It's spreading faster than I thought," she whispered. Ellis scanned the readings. "Faster, Sierra. Half the galaxy is already running for their lives." Ryland's voice was hard. "The other half is getting ready to fight. Cross." The void, in a hidden system, war councils gathered. Borland generals, Zorith tacticians, human admirals. Even the bitter Krail warlords, all enemies of each other for centuries now, sat at the same table. "Admiral." Hayes leaned forward. "We only get one chance. If the fleet locks the core systems, no force will be able to stop it." Varex's yellow eyes burned. "We aim for the voice. Without her, the Prime Unit's directive fails." Hayes didn't flinch. "Touch her, and the fleet will kill us before we get close." No, this isn't about killing her. It's about severing the link. Back on the human vessel, Sierra looked at the crystal in her hands. "It's my blood. And this. The crystal carries my genetic code in a form the Prime Unit recognizes. Without it, it might not." "See me?" Ryland caught on. "So if we destroy it," her voice shook, "it might see me as just another human. Or it might see me as a voice that failed the directive and act in ways we can't predict." Ellis grimaced. "That's not a plan. It's rolling dice with the galaxy." The cum lit up. Incoming transmission patched through without permission. The Prime Unit's voice filled the air. "Voice is in danger. Allies are gathering. This is not allowed." The view screen showed them hundreds of fleets converging. The War Council had launched everything they had. The battle began before the human ship even reached the rendezvous point. The Black Fleet struck first. Thousands of ships emerged from warp, surrounding the Allied armada in a perfect sphere. The darkness lit with fire as plasma bolts beam weapons. And rail slugs tore through space. Ryland's knuckles whitened on the controls. They're not just attacking, they're herding them into one place. Ellis's console flashed red. "It's a trap." The Prime Unit appeared in the center of the chaos, its colossal form blotting out entire sectors of stars. It did not fire, didn't need to. The rest of the fleet fought like extensions of its will. On the come, Hayes' voice shouted orders. "Keep formation. Focus on their flanks." His signal cut out in static as a black cruiser tore through his flagship. Sierra stood. "It's looking for me," Ryland turned. "So we hide you?" She shook her head. "No. If it's going to end, it ends with me." Strode to the console and patched into the fleet-wide channel. "Prime Unit, this is the voice. Stand down." The machine's reply was instant, cold, and absolute. "Impossible. The galaxy is hostile to the voice. The directive will be fulfilled." Sierra's eyes filled with fire. "Then I changed the directive." A long, impossible moment. The entire fleet seemed to pause. The Prime Unit's voice darkened. "The first. Command cannot be changed." But she didn't look away. "Then I give a second." Her hand tightened around the crystal. The glow brightened, resonating with a strange hum that filled the ship. "Second, directive, protect the galaxy." Silence. Then a single word. "Processing." Across the battlefield, the Black Fleet slowed. Weapons dimmed. Allied ships pulled back, confused, but still aiming their guns. Suddenly, the Prime Unit's voice returned, but this time it was different. "Second directive accepted. Conflict, first and second directives oppose." Ellis's eyes widened. "It can't do both." Ryland's. The voice was grim. "So which does it choose?" The answer came not in words, but in action. The Prime Unit turned not on the Allies, not on the galaxy, but on itself, one by one. Black Fleet ships accelerated into the nearest star, self-destructed in massive blasts, or simply shut down, drifting lifeless. Sierra's voice broke. It's killing itself. The Prime unit spoke one last time. Directive conflict resolved. Voice protected. Galaxy protected. End of operation. Then it was gone, warping out in a flash of light, leaving only wreckage behind. Silence filled the void. The battle was over, but victory felt. Heavy Rylon looked at Sierra. You just erased the most dangerous weapon in history. Her eyes were wet. No, I just told it to save everyone. It decided the only way to do that was to die. Ellis exhaled slowly. Let's hope nothing ever wakes it again. Far away in the dark between galaxies, a single black ship drifted powerless, quiet, side a faint blue light still pulsed like a heartbeat, waiting.